That should be better. Hello. Okay. Good morning. I hope everyone had a good night's sleep. I figured I would just start getting in the habit of going live on Saturday mornings if I can help it. Because I would love to return to going live on Saturday mornings. But I don't really have a topic. What I really want to do is I specifically want to get my response video out to everyone's lovely comments that they left on my last video. But I keep neglecting to do it because work has just been so crazy. If you guys notice that there's a lot of VTuber debuts this weekend, just know that some of those are assisted by Yam Alvat. And so I was in charge of 5 debuts this weekend. And so I was really busy with prep up until this weekend. A lot of late nights, a lot of last minute fixes. So there was just a lot to there's a lot to handle. Hello Alphonse, hello Casco Cross. And then on the Twitch side, hello Deckhand, hello Just a Guy. I hope you are able to sleep soon, Just a Guy. I hope that my audio is nice and steady so that if you fall asleep, I don't accidentally wake you up. Haha. But yeah. Let me fix the YouTube chat really quick. I really need to get combined chat working. I just keep forgetting to. Just woke up because of construction crews. Ah, that sucks. I'm sorry. You take a sip of tea. Last night I had Bible study at Leo's house, my boyfriend. And I got home late. And then I felt like playing Tomodachi Life until like even later. So my bad sleep is my fault. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to be reading comments and organizing them. So my last video essay, for those of you who didn't watch it, is that's okay. I had 3 points of struggle that I wanted to talk about. So I just want to read some comments and organize them into which point they're helping me on. So let's go to the video. And then let me scrub to the part where the 3 points... Yeah. There it is. Okay, so... Let's... Okay. Making branding feel good again. Less like a prison of my own making. Hey! Is there a way to analyze the current stop absorbing all the online negativity while still keeping in the loop? Okay, third. Marketing myself. Even though all my opinions have changed. Okay, so that's what we're looking for in this comment section. So, let's go comment section deep diving. And hopefully we don't find anything too terrible. Sort by. We'll do newest. Okay. Azehara channel. Azehara is actually kind of a big clipper. I'm surprised they found my video. Okay. So the Azehara says, you'll never be able to escape your professional branding without taking some sort of damage. I agree with that. That's why I'm so careful about it. You know? I used to be a clipper and my channel was fairly successful. I had to take a break. And then I decided to go into more commentary and analysis content. And it's been rough because the people have subscribed initially cared about the clips and not my opinions. I've had similar thing where I have kind of pivoted into music lately. If you guys didn't know, I started a music group. This music group, feel free to check us out. But yeah, I've been doing more music stuff. Most of it is behind the scenes right now, just because, well, let's be real. I haven't been uploading regularly, but we've got a lot of things on the horizon as a group, so I feel like that takes priority over my own channel as well. It's like, I manage, I think right now, 8 channels for VTubers, and then I also have my own channel, and then I also have Minuet's channel, so it is a lot, yeah. Okay. But what can you do? Alright, as for the personal question, you can just be open and transparent with your followers without having to overshare. That's true. Okay. Professionalism is still important, but oversharing, it's not 0 or 100. For sure. You can give some details without oversharing. That's a hard thing for me, because honestly, when I am talking about my life, I feel like I have a tendency to overshare if I let myself overshare. Hi, Saber. Welcome on in. Oh, Saber is experiencing something similar in a few others. Yeah. I see, I see. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I get that. Okay. You can give some details with oversharing. I just feel like I personally have the tendency to overshare, so I'm scared of doing that. Okay. You can still have privacy without cutting all contact. Just be vague about what is happening. Vague responses. Don't give too many details. I guess I need to learn how much is too much, you know? Maybe I need to study some other streamers and how they do it. Okay. As for a focus on your educational content, you can still talk about mental struggles and whatnot from an educational perspective. Okay. Like, use your own struggles in your educational content. That's a good way to look at it. Consider collabing with other VTubers and talking to them about it to see what they say. While getting multiple perspectives. Okay. The ads captions, and they can be a bit scuffed down mostly. Something I don't want to spend time on. As for the drama question, you can't avoid it. What you need to do is separate yourself from it so that it doesn't affect you. People really do, like, the consensus in the comments seems to be that there's no way to do it to actually, stop absorbing the online negativity without giving yourself space from it. Okay, 3, marketing is hard if you don't have someone else looking at... Oh, okay, so maybe like... enlist friend help to help, understand your own brand / appeal. Clips have been king for marketing. If you don't have someone clipping you, you'll have to do it yourself. Luckily for me, I don't really need a clipper. Just because I just cut up my video essays into clips. And that's not hard to do. I just follow the structure. When it comes to VTubing, there's not a single guide everyone can follow to succeed. You can have 2 different VTubers who are popular. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Alright. Vania says... Oh, actually, let me reply to comments while I'm here. For the... Hope commentary goes well for you, friend. Okay. I think allowing yourself to change your mind and be honest what you think differently than you used to is a huge sign of maturity. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Change is actually a sign of maturity. Oingy. Okay. Showing it isn't a bad thing. It's good to think about for sure. Being very open about that can help clear up any confusion from viewers who might have seen your older content and can help dispel the unhealthy, unrealistic idea that people behind the virtual personas should remain stagnant as they progress through their life. Here's the thing, I really feel like VTubers get this harder than anyone else because you don't really see us age. In fact, a lot of us are like perpetually young and whatever. So I feel weird admitting how much I've changed since I started, you know? Like in the real life, that's a good thing. But when you have a brand on the internet, it doesn't feel like a good thing, if that makes sense. I appreciate you having the courage to talk to me, or talk about more difficult topics. Isn't easy, but it opens up important dialogue. Okay. Talking about the hard things opens up important dialogue. Thank you very much for your comment. This hit hard. I really appreciate you reframing my change as a sign of maturity. And your encouraging words definitely made me feel more courage to talk about these harder issues. Hey! Hate to be that person, but medicines do help. My issue was different, but I also obsessed over the VTuber sphere. I still watch VTubers, still interested in the scene, but I can distance myself without being anxious or being affected by it. Yeah. Actually, I feel like I'm in a lot better place, mentally than when I first started VTubing, and I definitely see people to help with my mental health. But I don't think I am someone who would benefit from being on medication. Oh hey, 5 stream streak, thank you Aeterna. Reina, heyo, probably don't know me and YouTube perhaps isn't the best for me to essay dump my first impression because boy do I have a lot of thoughts, but I wanted to leave you a comment to say that as a fellow VTuber adjacent management and production professional, you're 100% not alone in all of this. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Reina. Oh, that's so sweet. I get it all too, and working behind the scenes has its own struggle bus that's different and sometimes lonelier. Oh man. Uh-oh. This one's hitting hard. Compared to creators who are almost solely focused in front-facing entertainment comment. Okay. Admitting that behind the scenes work has its hardships and being more open about them. Might reach out privately later. I've gathered my thoughts to answer the questions explicitly, but this is a much needed video, and I think part of growing up as a person is to be able to hold nuance and choose to disseminate it, even if the algorithm seems to favor more black and white extremes in order for content to travel further, so it's tempting as heck. Hang in there. Oh, I am going to reach out to Reina. My goodness. This comment was so comforting to know I am not alone. Please, let's get in contact. I would love to have a conversation with you. Okay. Dang girl, why do you have so many concussions? Thanks, friend. Maybe you shouldn't market yourself and ask someone else to help instead. Okay, yeah, we've got that point. You're carrying the weight from marketing for other people all of this responsibility and thinking about marketing yourself makes you fixated on marketing even more. Marketing others is already my day job, so it might feel like work to market myself as well. Okay. Tough conversation to have. Oh. Let me make sure I reply. Odin, I will try to ask my friends for marketing help. A tough conversation to have with no easy conclusions or solutions. You brought up a few times in the video. I think it's best to remove that mental weight is to not care as much. See, I've gotten this advice quite a bit. And, okay. So, not care as much. I've brought that up. Man. See, part of Yam being more open, I'm gonna talk about therapy. I have brought this up in therapy. That I just feel like I care too much. Like, I was always the tryhard. Whatever I do, I put my all into, even if it's, like, detrimental to myself. And in terms of my relationships, I'm also, like, the person who tends to care the most. And, so when it's not reciprocated, I have a really hard time, right? And so whenever I hear the advice, just don't care as much, it literally feels like someone telling me, just calm down, you know? Just stop being sad. It's the same thing. I don't know how to care less, you know? My therapist specifically worked on me with accepting myself as I am rather than trying to change the fact that I care too much. So I never really got advice on how to care less. Sorry. Just need to take my sweater off. Okay, so I don't know how to do that. Not in a rude or dismissive way, but that trying to follow everything that's going on while also having your own thing going on is going to give, or is giving more than 100% of yourself. Yeah, I do. I do give more than 100% of myself. It's fun to follow drama, admittedly. It tickles something in the brain, but there's a line somewhere where it stops being fun and starts being a burden. Is and rewarding at first, but then becomes a mental burden. Yeah. Personally, I've tried to distance myself from social media, even VTubing. I want to create art. I'm trying to make more time to just create rather than taking the time to consume it. It's not easy though, so it's just easy to open YouTube and scroll. It's so hard to open Clip Studio and Blender to create. Easy to scroll, hard to create. It's a solution. It's barely working to keep my mental health together, but it's kind of what's working. Maybe someone can relate to me. That's the point of the comment, basically. Thank you so much for your comment. I will try to analyze and apply some of your advice in my own life. I wish I could figure out how to get myself to care less, but at the very least I can try to create more. Yeah, easy to scroll, hard to create, indeed. A lot of people need to start talking about this more because this year's been rough for everybody. I'll just put a hang in there. I've got to go, need to do some net diagnostics. Alright, thank you, Just a Guy. I love this video so much. I'm surprised that people like this video. This video is what I thought to be like my worst video, cause like it's just me complaining to the camera. Who wants to hear that? But yeah. Alright. Love this video so much. I've felt a lot of these things. I've disappeared when I feel like it was professional. It wasn't professional to mention personal things, but recently I mentioned when I'm going through something, and my community really appreciates the heads up. Community appreciates communication. There's a book called The Score by T. Nguyen. I wonder if you'd find it interesting or helpful. It's a philosophy book on how online platforms use game theory to keep us interested in things we wouldn't actually care about by convincing us metrics are a social score, employing algorithms with psychological game theory to keep us disproportionately engaged and more. He also discusses what makes games good and compares games to social platforms, which are gamified nowadays. Keep in mind that social media is gamified. Here's the weird thing, and maybe this is just like the I can't admit I have a problem or whatever talking, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better at social media management, like in terms of addiction. I don't have a scrolling addiction that I know of. I used to scroll reels and YouTube shorts for a bit. But I don't have those apps on my phone. And then I also don't have Twitter on my phone. It's just when I'm logged in for work and I'm engaged with work. You know? Thank you very much for the recommendation. I will definitely look into it. My social media addiction is more or less broken at this point. Maybe I can't admit that. Maybe I do have a problem still. Maybe I do have a problem. Okay, fine. I'll definitely look into it. I will try to be more mindful about what occupies my thoughts during the day. I think that's what it is. I need to be... Just because I'm not scrolling anymore doesn't mean I'm not thinking about it. So be mindful as to what is occupying my thoughts. thoughts throughout the day. Yeah. Bible study is very interested. Heck yeah. Hopefully people want to attend my Bible studies. Okay. Might have come with age, but I consider a creator who changes to be superior quite often. I think we already have change isn't a bad thing in there. I'm actually a fan of trying to become a VTuber, but man, is the name a nightmare. Trying to name the unnameable, something that is beyond definition or comprehension by the human mind. Imagine Cthulhu, but ramped up a few trillion times, and that's how incomprehensible it is. I find a lot of VTubers, before they start, get lost in the weeds and assume that they need to have their concept be this hugely complex thing with, like, all this lore and, like, a shape-shifting model and stuff like that. And although, like, that can be fun, I think that kind of concept is so hard to actually execute that they would be better off starting with something simpler and having it evolve up into that point, if that makes sense. Bischenberg, hey there, Yam, I've been a viewer for a while. I'm most quest. My advice and suggestion I can help you for the long run would be genre bending. I myself have been a person who wishes to be a VTuber, and I have been analyzing a lot of my favorite content creators. While I noticed that the ones lasted for a long time either have extremely strong will or genre bend. Take, for example, Moist Critical and PewDiePie. They would be taking on one topic, but sometimes they'll be discussing about something they were very passionate about. I often tell people that people kind of ignore the YouTube in VTubing. Yes, you're playing a character, but that doesn't mean you can't share what you want. Occupy multiple genres. Which is true, I already do music, talk about whatever you are passionate about. Sometimes they'll be discussing, I often tell people that, I believe that content creation is like cinema, that it's an art form. We are supposed to use our artist expression when we are making content, because after all, it's like an art form. Yes, some people are there that's gonna be ultimately unfollow you, but at the end, what's left are the real ones who will support you no matter what. No lose, no gain. I always wanted to be a VTuber myself, but I just didn't start because of my device issues, plus I'm busy with school. So I will give you an easy question, but has a deep meaning. What videos do you want to see? I see. Make the content. I mean, I give this advice to other people, but I don't follow it myself. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you breaking it down like that for me. The last question is especially helpful. Oh. Alright. Sorry, I just got crazy news, but everything's okay. Okay, I think you're on the right track. Touching grass is the way to go. Obviously, yeah. Touching grass is kind of like the surface level of how I handle this. Thank you so much. Yes, I definitely utilize my time outdoors. My personal go-to is swimming laps. Okay, for the new stuff, just stop doing it. I don't know if I can. I don't think that is advice I can follow, unfortunately. Your line of work isn't journalism, so unless I'm mistaken, you aren't required to be on the bleeding edge. I'm not required to be on the bleeding edge, but my clients do rely on me to at least be in the know about what companies are worth applying to. So, it's a bit tough to just not do it, if it makes sense. Let someone else wade through the trenches and their takes on it all. Here's the thing. I don't really trust other people to do it for me and then just watch their videos, right? Because by the time they're reporting on it, they have decided the narrative for themselves a lot of the time. So, like, look, I am friends with the quote-unquote VTuber journalists out there. I'm friends with Depressed No Soggy, I'm friends with Rima Evenstar, and they make great stuff. That being said, they also make stuff for entertainment purposes. That's why they're successful, because they don't just give it dry. I don't want to say sensationalize, but kind of, you know? They have to make it entertaining. They have to give their commentary and their own spin on it. I'd rather... I do watch their videos from time to time. But at the same time, although we're friends, you know, like, friends can disagree on stuff, I don't agree with their takes on a lot of things. So, I'd rather just use their video as a jump-off point for me to do my own research. Because a lot of their conclusions are not ones I would make myself. So, I don't know. Stop watching the news? Question mark? I don't feel like I have that luxury. Okay. Edward Sugar Maple says, okay, first hilarious way to start. Oh, actually I didn't respond. Thank you for the tips. Really appreciate you. Comment. I think I can't stop watching. I can't stop engaging with current events entirely because, again, my clients do rely on me to have some form of know-how on which brands / companies are worth working with. But You do bring up a good point. That I can always look this information up when I need it, rather than always being on the bleeding edge, as you put it. Okay. Don't to be actively engaged all the time. I can look up companies as do my research as needed. Okay. Okay. So, for struggle 1, it feels like it can only speak to your sense of professional branding. To me, what is the professional aspect of your brand? That is when you speak, the audience knows that the audience that knows you knows that what you say is completely genuine. That is true. I can put this in marketing. I speak genuinely. I can also put it here. When authenticity goes a long way. Hi, Gry. How are you? We're waiting through my comments section to form a response video to my earlier video on the mental weight of VTubing, so that I can actually give advice. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, is it a bomb? Did I create a problem? Oh my gosh. Did I create a problem? Oops. Okay, good. I'm glad it's not a problem. Just a lot of responses. But yes, I did literally drop that bomb and then I went live, yes. Hello, Enva! Yeah. Look, I kind of want to make a video on that too. So, for context, guys, I have a server of other video VTubers who do either commentary or commentary adjacent stuff. Like I was saying, I'm friends with Rima and Depressed No Usagi, like we were talking about earlier. But I put a very interesting tweet to me in. We can grab it. I put an interesting tweet to me in the server, and I just wanted to know my friends' takes, because I don't know how I feel about this yet. So there was this, it looks like there was this content creator who used AI in their thumbnails, but their plan was to commission art eventually. But now that they actually do want to commission the art, they're being blacklisted by artists. So, this person says, imagine this, a creator started their career with minimal funds, they kick off with using AI for thumbnails on videos, not yet generating the revenue. Creator is gaining popularity and wishes to move away from AI and pay artists for thumbnails because now they can afford it. What's the reaction from the anti-AI crowd? I said it once and I will say it again. Anti-AI crowd at this moment is the most damaging group to artists because their behavior is despicable and it pushes normal people away from artists with their hate and clamps on their eyes. Not only that, it's the same crowd that attacks hardworking artists that calls them AI users because they think they see AI in it. And I don't agree with the last paragraph. But at the same time, it is interesting to think about, do we Do we want to trust people who used AI previously in their work and now they have the money to support actual artists? I feel like this is a less common case. At least I've seen people very pro AI and very anti AI. Oh, Sunny. Little Sunny VT? A response? Is it a reply or a quote retweet? Let me find it. Response to the original post. Okay. Oh, okay. Artists don't want to risk the fact that you could put their art into AI. The moment you choose AI was the moment every artist won't take a shot with you. This is the consequence of your actions. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just telling you my thoughts on this. Yeah. I get that. So maybe I'm just becoming, like, nihilistic, and I hope that's not the case. But I actually just assume that if I put something on the internet, if I put my artwork on the internet, it will get used in AI. If you guys wondered where my portfolio went on the internet, if you wonder why you can't find my portfolio easily, that is why. I have a curated AI poisoned portfolio. But that's it. It's very small. I have it on Kara. So this is the only place you can find my art. And all of these have been AI poisoned. I don't even post it on VGen anymore. So, yeah. That is, that's just kind of my take on it. It's just like, we can't do anything. So, would I work with a client who used AI prior to commissioning me? Yeah, I probably would. I would be sad if they decide to just use my art to train AI. But I also accept that risk when I also kind of accept that risk whenever I'm doing anything on the internet. Like, for instance, I don't want to see gross art of my character. I don't want my VTuber character to be used in any way that would be sinful. But I also accept that I cannot control that. I cannot control people. I cannot, like, I can ask pretty please don't, but that's it, you know? It's the same thing, to me, I think. You know, people are gonna be people. People are gonna feed you to AI. People are gonna do weird things with your persona. And all you can do is just, like, shrug your shoulders and be like, well, that was the job, you know? Such is life as a internet artist. And it sucks. I would love for that to not be the case, but at the same time, I just accept that it has been. That being said, I think that this particular situation is interesting, assuming it's in good faith. But I think people will be too radical on both sides with it. Because I myself am like 100% anti-AI. I don't even use AI assistants or anything like that. And I have always been like that. Like, okay, I am a very paranoid person, so I don't even use, I've never used Siri, I've never used, like, home assistants. Like, anything that resembles a robot talking to me makes me so unsettled that I'm not going to, like, be able to engage with it. But, at the same time, I understand that this is just going to be part of humanity moving forward, and it sucks. Sucks for people who don't want that, but in order to join society, you've just gotta kind of accept the parts like that aren't going anywhere. Even if you can't prove that someone would feed your comm to an AI, why would you willingly work with them after finding out that they have done that and breaking trust? Because it's normalized, I think. Like, look. Number one, art isn't my main thing, okay? If art was like my main bread and butter, I could see being more cautious. But, like, after I draw something, I understand that people can use it however they want. Like, I can't stop them from doing stuff. And number two, if they're actively supporting artists, even though there is the AI alternative in front of them, they're still actively supporting artists to me. Even if they have used AI art in the past, I don't think that AI art is like the unforgivable sin. It sucks. That's sucky behavior. But for me personally, I'm not going to blacklist someone just because they've played with an AI generator before. So, that's just me. Like I said, this whole video is about how, like, my opinions on things have changed a lot. And that's probably one of them, because I think back in 2023, I was completely crashing out about AI generation and the fact that it's going to ruin artists and the fact that, you know, it's like the end of the world. I genuinely felt like AI was the end of the world, and I absolutely hate AI. I really do. I hate AI, but at the same time, I'm not going to, you know, blacklist someone just because they've used AI in the past. But it is very situational. If they are using AI at the same time as commissioning me, that I'm not really cool with. I would definitely have a conversation with them, being like, oh, okay, so I see you've used AI in the past. What's your current stance on it? Are you planning on using AI for anything in the future? And I would probably even be upfront enough to be like, hey, I would love to work with you, but I personally would love it if you wouldn't feed my art to AI. And if they still do, that's on them. They're like, they're a bad person. I can't say they're a bad person, but they're doing bad things if I actively ask them not to and they still do. But I can't control that. If that makes sense. Because I mean, I consider AI art theft, and I consider theft a sin. I think it is genuinely bad. But, you know, I also have to accept that there's gonna be people, who have used AI. For me, I keep my art in one location. It's limiting myself in the communities I'm part of. So while yes, it's possible for it to be scraped, I'm realizing my style doesn't read as quote-unquote desirable for the scrapers, or even the ones who want traditional anime style. It's like how Dr. Seuss isn't exactly popular style, but everyone wants pretty things. Yeah. I would definitely personally have the conversation with the person before attempting a commission or not, as a mainly artist. Yeah, I would have a conversation with them. I wouldn't just automatically blacklist them. This might not read as a apt comparison to a lot of people, but it reads as an apt comparison to me. If I am designing a character for someone and I go on their page and it looks like they commission not safe for work art of their characters, I would have the same feeling of a job's a job, but I also am uncomfortable working with this person because it means that my art is going to be used in a way that I don't like it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Hi, Jack Savage. Welcome on in. It's probably going to end up with community splitting, like how classical and electronic have split since the Moog synthesizer. There will be communities with varying tolerance for AI, and that's okay, maybe. I think so. I think our varying tolerances actually make us more interesting. So, like, I mean... Yeah. Grice says, seems very apt because both are about whether you think they'll repeat past choices. Yeah. But I think, at least in the VTuber community, me refusing to work with someone because I see that they've commissioned not safe for work art before, that would make people absolutely like go monkey wild, go crazy style. It's just because that not safe for work is generally accepted on the internet, and AI is a hot not accepted on the internet, but I am uncomfortable with both, you know? So it would be a hard choice, but honestly, as a professional, sometimes you have to work with people you wouldn't necessarily love to work with, and you, especially, like, if you're trying to do this, like, full-time, it's tough. You have to work with people that you don't necessarily want to work with a lot. But it's unfortunate, but we've gotta, you know, sometimes we gotta hold our nose for some commissions. If we're trying to make it as an artist. Yeah. When I tried to apply for music composition elective, they specifically told me my portfolio could not be for synthesizers. So that split is present after like 80 years. Very interesting. I was only on the classical side, so I have no idea. Yeah. That was a detour and a half. But welcome on in, Drago. Welcome on in, Edward. Welcome on in, Placeholder Shrimp. Welcome on in, everyone. But, yeah, I just found this tweet interesting, so I dropped it in my group chat before going live, and apparently it's being discussed. But yeah, Edward, we were just, about to react to your comment, so here we go. Edward says, okay, first, hilarious way to start the video. For Struggle 1, I feel like I can only speak for your sense of professional branding. To me, what is the professional aspect of your brand is that when you speak, the audience that knows you knows that what you say is completely genuine. To me, you exemplify integrity, and being genuine and principled doesn't mean you have to pigeonhole yourself into acting a certain way. If you are feeling constrained by your branding, feel free to let loose if it's coming from a genuine place. 'Cause I think, yeah, I just like my take on AI art commissions. Um, I think that being genuine and genuinely giving your opinion is without like weighing in or taking into account what's popular and what's not popular to say is the only way we have constructive dialogue on the internet. So I will definitely put that in. The only way we can have... Like, actually, back on the AI topic while I'm writing this down, I have taken commissions from people who generated a reference from AI to tell me what kind of design they wanted. And I found that a little confusing to work off of, for sure. There was a few things that I was just like, not really sure what they want here. Like, it wasn't the perfect reference ever. But I would say that it was a fine commission either way. They wanted to support artists, they just had a really hard time describing what they wanted, if that makes sense. So being able to visualize it before you pay the artist helped them. It was, obviously it wasn't the final draft, they didn't post it online. Like, so it's not that I found it, like, my favorite. I was a little uncomfortable, but it was a fine commission and they've never posted any public AI art. So, I don't know. Like, it's gonna have to be your own comfortability level. Like, go with your own gut, if that makes sense. Alright. The only way you can have constructive dialogue on the internet is to give your genuine opinion rather than what's popular. And integrity. Okay, thank you. Okay. Feel free to let loose. Yeah. Yeah, the I want this image, AI image in your art style made by you. Yeah, that's basically... Yeah. So, I completely stand by artists who do not want to work with anyone who, you know, even touched AI art in the past. Just like I am not comfortable with, like, people who commission NSFW. Like, I support the artist's right to refuse service and not get shamed for it. But me personally, you know, I'll probably take commissions from more people than other artists would be comfortable with, and vice versa. It really depends. Like, the great thing about the internet is there's so many artists to commission from, so if one of them doesn't work with you, you can just try another. There's gonna be someone who's willing. Okay, so let loose from time to time. Okay. Number 2. Okay, you'll never gonna be able to separate yourself from the negativity that comes with internet drama, especially considering your profession. I have to deal with similar things in my line of work that I've been in for a decade now, but to be fair, at a much lesser extent, and I'll still get frustrated and sad and angry at times. Well, thank you for validating me instead of just telling me to touch grass. I appreciate that. So there's no way to stop absorbing it. Except that it's part of the job, and it's okay to be angry / sad about it. Radioactivated says the thing that is that training data is still scraped from art used without compensation, so using an image generator is indirectly using their work without compensation. Yeah, I agree. Like, I do not support people image generating for a multitude of reasons. But I also understand that in order to take commissions in a society where that is the norm, you kind of just have to accept that it's gonna be some of your clients sometimes. Like, some of my clients are gonna make NSFW, some of my clients, you know, do stuff that I personally don't support, but I'm still gonna work with them. You know, I think if I rejected all clients who did something I didn't agree with, I wouldn't have any business on the internet. Yeah. When it does get to me, I have to put the screen away and find some kind of activity that occupies my mind that will give my mental break from the stressor. So I may address it later, at a later time, more prepared. Okay. That's actually... Look! Edward Sugar Maple actually given the advice other than touch grass. I really appreciate it. So, specifically, when it is too much, instead of is too much, find an activity to occupy yourself. And then deal with it when you have the bandwidth. You're awesome, thank you. It sounds simple, but I needed to hear it. The break doesn't have to be something that takes up the entire day. Simple half-hour break. Okay. Even 30 minutes. Is that what people have been telling me in the comments? Yeah. A lot of people say, like, just don't engage with it, and I'm just like, ah. I don't know that that is something I can follow, unfortunately. I would love to follow it, but I can't. Number 3. This ties in with number 1. Yam is one of the VTubers that I've watched the longest. Aw, thank you. When I think of Yam, I think of helpful advice, genuine stances, wholesome, wonderful music. Aw, thank you. And all around a sweet person. You're so sweet, too. The change of opinions over time because of new experiences and information isn't so much contradictory, but a natural part of growing as a person. Aw, thank you. New experiences have informed my new opinions. That's natural growth. Yeah. I use a favorite artist's work to learn art, then make works in a very similar style. How does that fit in? I mean, I did the same thing. I think that's considered inspiration, though, not exactly, like, generating their artwork. So, I consider inspiration different just because you are interpreting it through your own brain and eyes and soul. Still, even if you copied it. The thing about AI versus what you're doing is learning. You're making a one-to-one copy. AI is making a one-to-one copy and saying it made it, yeah. Unironically, literally touching grass is not the worst advice. Like, literally go for a walk. It does help me a lot. Getting away from the computer physically, moving your body, smelling the air, does a lot for brain chemicals, but it's like, don't use the internet is not useful. So, I do touch grass. Throughout this entire mental funk, I have been exercising, I've been getting out, I swim, I walk, I take breaks. Except for the last, like, 4 days because of the debuts being crazy. But that's not necessarily the problem for me. I think the part of the problem is that when I am out, when I'm not in the computer vicinity, my brain is still thinking about those issues. So specifically, Edward's advice of, like, specifically Where was it? Oh my gosh. I forgot where it is. Oh, here it is. Specifically, taking a 30-minute break and understanding that you are going to come back and deal with it when you have the bandwidth is the key for me. Because I would continue trying to deal with it even when I'm swimming, even when I'm walking. Touching grass isn't necessarily the answer to me, because I continue to think about it. So, what actually will help, I believe, and I'm gonna try it, is actually setting it aside with the intention to come back to it. Because, personally, I have the problem of, even if I'm not on the internet, I am thinking about it. Yeah. Okay, so there's going to be an ad break. I'm going to use the restroom, and everyone could go stretch your legs and get a drink. We will be back shortly. Alright. We're good. Okay. Sarantira says, never forget the Vocaloid music scene was in a dark era from 2012 to 2016 due to the lack of innovation and didn't really snap a bit in the East until Ghost Rule was dropped. Everyone was so focused on what would be popular or Vocaloid style music that no one wanted to innovate and just used the voice banks as designed. I see. Interesting. Very interesting. I was too young to really understand what was going on because I was a Vocaloid fan in the quote-unquote drought, you know, so I didn't really notice it. I was just a young fan who was like everything Hatsune Miku. Specifically Kaito was my favorite. Everything Kaito is amazing. And I didn't really look to see like when things were posted. I was just like, ah yes, more new music to me, you know. But yeah, good helpful advice. If you really want to directly address your new positions that might go against your older ones, then make a video. Could be a format similar to revisiting a thesis. Heck, even a great opportunity for a thumbnail with big red letters saying I was wrong. The shocked expression. That is the plan, yes. So let's remaking videos. Revisiting the old topics I no longer agree with my past self on. The main ones on that list are gonna be character design for VTubers. Specifically what I want to talk about is pre-made models, the overthinkers, and what's the other thing that I really need to address? People who don't want to be original. Pretty is enough kind of thing. Those are the 3 topics that I feel like my main one is kind of missing. Yeah, 'cause look, my original video probably still holds up for people who have brains like mine, where they want a very original character and just need help brainstorming. But I think there's a lot more people who are like, okay, well, how do I apply your model or your video to pre-made models or budgets? Then there's the overthinkers who take my advice and then they're in like a doom spiral of like, how do I pick? Now you made me come up with 3 whole concepts and now how do I pick between the 3? And then they just doom spiral. And then the third people who probably can't benefit from my my current video is the people who actually just want to be like, it's not that deep, I just want to be a cat girl on the internet. Like, honestly, originality isn't everything, which, you know, I wish it was everything, but it's actually not. And I wish it was. Because I really want I really want it to be. Because that's the part of content creation that I like. But that's not what everyone could benefit from. And then the other one I really want to remake is the agency videos. Now I have a more informed perspective on the actual pros and cons of a decent agency. And then the other thing is like VTuber groups. There's like an in-between. The in-between options of Corpo. And then there's the other thing of, I also want to talk about how to get into an agency, who it's good for, and what you should do to prepare yourself for that. Yeah. I don't know if people want this video. So I'm not sure if I will ever make it. But I just know that I don't necessarily agree with my old parasocialism video. I would love if I could just talk about it from a completely Christian perspective. I don't know if people want that, because I know that a lot of people feel shamed by hearing the Christian perspective on romantic parasocialism, sex work, and just general lewd things on the internet, and the enjoyment of them. And I don't want anyone to feel shamed. But at the same time, I feel like I don't want to judge people, but I also want people to understand they might be detrimental. You know, their habits might be detrimental to their mental health. On both sides, on the VTuber side and the fan side. Because I feel like my original video actually comes off as really blamey and preachy, specifically to companies, which is interesting. Because I used to think that it was the companies pressuring creators into making this content, because I couldn't possibly put myself in the shoes of someone who wanted to create it for themselves. Because that was unfathomable for young Lorelei, or I think I was Yam at that point. Yeah, young Yam. How someone could, you know, actually be actively pushing for it more and more. In my experience, it's actually the agencies that aren't pushing for it. It's the talents that are pushing for it more and more. And it's usually the agencies actually trying to reel them back a little bit. Which is really interesting to me. It's completely opposite from my old video. Yeah, I'm Komori. That was me. Hi, Foolish. Welcome on in. Yeah. So, I don't know. To talk about... But I don't want anyone to feel judged by my perspective, you know? So I don't know if I'll ever make this video. And if I make it, it might be a members only release, just so that no random person comes across it and feels bad. But if someone really wants to know my perspective on it, they could. Yeah, I don't know. I actually have the script already written out, but yeah. Let me see, what other videos of mine need a update? Let me see. Videos. Oh! That's the other thing I need to talk about. PNG, 3D, Live 2D. Fun fact! This is crazy, but fun fact. I used to say that Live 2D is like the pinnacle of VTubing. And now it's actually my least favorite out of all of the VTubing mediums. I actually prefer 3D and PNG now. I liked Live 2D because I'm an artist and I know how to make it work. And it was very novel for me starting out. But I actually think that PNG and 3D are going to be better for you in the long run. Number one, I think PNG just appeals to more normies. And 3D is more versatile. I think live 2D, you're gonna automatically come off as weird or uncanny to, like, normal people. And if you're trying to get an audience outside of VTubing, I actually highly recommend you go for either PNG or 3D instead of 2D. Which is kind of crazy. I didn't think that I would have this opinion ever. 3D and PNG have gotten a lot better. That is so true. Yeah. So, that's the other one that I really want to update. Let's see. Does anything else need updating? Live 2D support is basically non-existent on Linux. There's Enochi Live for Linux, I believe. But yeah, not a lot of people know how to do it. Although I feel like this one needs an update. I don't know if I want to make the video. Specifically because... I don't know. I feel like... it's kind of well known at this point that VTubers overwork themselves and are workaholics, so... I don't know that a new video on it would do anything any good, you know? I'd also suggest that you talk about the difference between 2D and 3D because I actually had an argument about Live 2D and how it's not 3D, but he wouldn't listen. This was about a year ago. Dang. Yeah, there's always gonna be people who don't understand how it works. But, oh! That's the other part I need to talk about. I would love to talk about, oh, that wasn't it, actually. Was it... something about, like, community management? Cause that would be the actual follow-up of, my revolving door video essay. I honestly feel like a lot of, actual VTuber burnout happens by not managing community expectations. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, but there's like a clip of Shachi talking about, oh, the VTuber expectations, it's like too much for me right now. But, the problem is, oh, I feel like, I hate to say it, but like it's kind of on the creator to help manage their community's expectations. They can't completely change their community's expectations, but I think the difference between Saba and Sachi, right? I feel like they're kind of on, or Shachi? They're on opposite ends of the spectrum as to how they are managing their burnout. Saba was excited to return back to streaming, and she tried to do so really hard. And then her fans felt resentful when she inevitably burnt out again and stopped posting again. Because she set up expectations that she was going to keep posting by doing this whole, like, debut with all this stuff and talking about how she can't wait to stream and all of this. And then, on the other hand, there's Shachi, right? Who is literally afraid of talking about any of her future activities out of fear that people are going to start expecting it from her. There's a middle ground between these two creators that I think exists, and I think that finding it is really important. But yes, I agree that it's like the idol culture. For sure. JP, idol cultures in some aspects is antithetical to Christian values, not as much in the West, in the sense that the idol is worshipped by their fans. Yeah, I would say so. But I don't know, I feel like the word idol, like, it's semantics. Like, for instance, when people are like, ah yes, you know, pride in the LGBT sense is the same sin as pride in the biblical sense. That it's like a false dichotomy because the word is actually used separately. Like they're two separate meanings. So, like equating those is really not a good argument. And I would say the same about like idol culture and then like having false idols in the Bible. Yes, you could make a Japanese idol your idol by putting them above God, but you can also like have an Oshi idol and without worshipping them or putting them above God, and you know, it has a separate meaning, you know. Yeah. I think the Japanese borrowed the word and equated it to pop star. Yeah, I would agree. But I do feel weird, you know? So I'm in a music group, and I always do feel kind of weird because some of the stuff that we have planned is similar to Japanese idol stuff. And I'm not like anti-Japanese idol. There's some aspects of it that I don't like. But I can just ignore those and not do them myself, right? But where was I going with this? I do feel weird ever calling myself an idol. Because of, yes, I don't really want people to worship me, obviously. And I really don't want people to equate me with the Japanese idol type, just because, number one, I have a boyfriend, and number two, I think you guys know my personality is not idol-like. I'm not trying to put on airs for all of you, you know? White bat to golden calf. As I mentioned it before, worship is dependent on the worthship, the value you give something or someone. If a Christian places more worth in someone over God, then yes, they are idolizing that person. Indeed. So, like, you can have, like, an idol Oshi, but you can also not have it, like, just like you can be a fan of anything, you know? Without making it your idol. So, I would like to talk about idol culture at some point. I just feel like I'm not the best person to talk about it. Just because, I've never been on it in the, like, fan side. I've been fans of idols, but I've never been an idol fan, if that makes sense. Like, it would definitely be something I'd have to do a lot of interviews for, and I'm not sure if I'm the interviewing type anymore. But yeah! Thank you so much, Edward, for this comment. Thank you so much for this comment. I appreciate your words so much. I genuinely think your response to number 1 is the most helpful out of the comments I have read so far. Reply. Okay. Aw. Wow, someone literally wrote a document about how streaming reshapes the brain. What? Is this safe to click on, guys? It looks safe. But, can someone tell me if this is safe to click on? I have no idea, but, I would actually love to read it, but I'm scared to click on it. Thank you, Edward. Thank you for checking. I appreciate it. In the meantime, let's scroll up a bit. Every day I wake up, I tell myself I can't wait to get off work so I can work on my videos and stream, and once I get home I'm so tired I just lay on my bed and watch movies, and I'm really getting tired of this routine. I'm gonna give this person some advice. Go live. That means your barrier / amount of friction to go live is too high for your left over energy levels. One way to combat this is to lower your barrier to streaming, and that also means lowering your expectations for yourself to go live. Don't have the energy to set up your model, go PNG. Don't have the energy to stream a game, watch YouTube together. YouTube on stream instead. Another way to combat it would be to reduce friction in other ways when you get home. For instance, if you meal prep instead of cooking every night, you may just have some more spare energy in the tank to stream what you want. Whenever I am too tired to stream / write a video script, I will usually just go live and work and do a co-working stream. Oftentimes people coming in will give me the motivation to work on my video script. In fact, I am typing this to you while I am live working on the video script for my follow-up video. Aha. There we go. Reply. Okay, it is safe. And it's a doctorate's thesis. Actually, you know what? My boyfriend is about to graduate with his therapy degree. And he took a class on research. This is something we could probably do together. That's gonna be fun. That's actually gonna be fun. I'll give him a little bit of time after graduation. I don't want him to immediately jump into this the moment he finishes school. But I would love to do this with him. Oh my goodness. What a special thing to share. I will definitely do my best to decipher this. Do you have, if you want me to, if you are comfortable to sharing more about this and helping me break things down, please email me at emalbat@protonmail.com. I would absolutely love to get in touch. Okay. Cool. Alright, last comment before I gotta go, Bat Bunch, but we will be doing this again later. 'Cause, yeah, I need the motivation to work on this script, so I will definitely be live later too. Very good and insightful video. Thank you, YamAlbat. I feel like I struggled with branding of my own channel because I felt torn apart every other way with what my channel's goal and identity is. I decided to keep it all in one place without deleting my old channel. I'm horrible at marketing myself and get fatigued from trying to cross-post and promote myself. Oh my gosh, that's something I want to talk about. Promoting yourself is fatiguing. Cross-posting. Selling yourself. Understanding yourself enough to understand what people want. And the, what's it called? Like the public perception of you. Is, if it doesn't match your own perception, you feel lonely. Yeah. The cringe of bragging about yourself, yeah. That's the other thing. About yourself is cringe. Yeah. I'm horrible at being my own manager and get demotivated by the lack of comments and interactions under my videos. I would suggest having a manager, kind of like a manager's manager. Just like how a therapist needs to see a therapist, a manager needs a manager. Maybe I could, honestly, what I'm trying to think of is, I'm wondering if I can have like a, I think, manager's manager? Maybe I can do like a trade with another manager to manage each other's brands instead of our own. Might be worth it. You know, all of the, hey gang, I started streaming, popping in tweets since I personally was doing all my promotions or information about my uploads manually. It got boring fast, especially between 3 platforms. Yeah. I'm also not really a virtual streamer. I'm a VTuber similar to Kizna I, just recording videos. I always had stage fright to some degree, social anxiety, so anything people say about me resonates with me emotionally too much, so my content is mostly Let's Plays and whatever I feel like uploading. My own struggle was whether I feel like having a PNG of myself or an overlay, or just want to start streaming. I feel like I should add a growing beard to my character to show time passing in between hiatuses. Haha, yeah. As for contradictions, people change and learn. I feel like it's normal and wise, and people will understand that you said the things you said in 2022 don't reflect your current self. You'd be surprised! Sorry, that was like really passionate. But you'd be surprised how many people have come to me about my 2022 takes and just assume they are my current takes. It is actually incredibly common. It's because my videos still have reach, so I get about like 5,000 views a week because my videos still get recommended out to people. And I'm not complaining, okay? Like, that's a gift. Who looks at date posted? Exactly, no one looks at date posted. I still get comments talking about like, oh wow, like, actually VShojo was terrible. Why are you talking about them in a positive light? Like, if you go to some of my old videos and sort by newest. Yeah. Yeah. You'd be surprised by how many people don't grow in 4 years. Yeah. Momoko has a video on idol culture from their VTuber days. I have to go find it, but I found it quite useful. That would be helpful, yeah. Congrats to your boyfriend's degree. I know, he's almost done. I'm so proud of him. But yeah. See, the people who are responding to my comments are the reasonable people. But there are just as many unreasonable people, unfortunately. And I feel like the moment I update my opinions, I'm gonna get flack. Legitimately, I feel like I'm going to get backlash on my videos. Because I feel like my old videos were definitely more black and white and easier to digest than what I actually want to make. I think a lot of my opinions will be widely disagreed with and possibly hated. And a lot of people will be like, I liked the old Yam who was so full of optimism and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Imagine a lot of people... Oh, hold on. I imagine a lot of the people tuned into this stream are here for the nuance. I certainly am. See, yeah, I know. I know my core audience is, but the problem is that there should be more nuance, but the internet doesn't like that exactly. I hate how much the internet only rewards black and white thinking. Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Gry. Part of the problem was I took what people said on the internet as face value and absorbed it like a sponge. That's how that's how the old videos were formed. I thought I was doing research by, like, listening to the people. Only now do I realize that it's like, it's the Buster from Arthur meme, like, do you think people would really do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? Here's the thing, a lot of the people at the top of the industry, they will say what makes them look good. They will say what benefits them, makes them look good, supports their narrative, etc. So when I took them at face value, I assumed that, you know, that's how the world works, and then I started actually working behind the scenes. And the more I actually had hands-on experience, the more I realized that people will say what benefits their brand. Even if they aren't actively lying, they can still be wrong. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also things have changed, you know. Again, maybe I'm misquoting them from like 3 years ago, you know. But I think it's not that they're lying, it's that they're framing things a certain way. For instance, think about when someone leaves a VTuber agency. From their perspective, it is beneficial for them to talk to their audience about why they left in a term that makes them look good. So if there was a disagreement, from the talent's perspective, the ex-talent's perspective, they'll talk about it from like, oh man, it was just so unfair, and you know, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, and you know, they were deceitful and all this stuff. And then from the agency perspective, it could be completely different. It could be that, you know, this talent was like causing them a lot of trouble, causing them a lot of damages, breaking their contract. It like, I think something, and I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna make myself late to acupuncture because the gears are turning. But branding and professionalism. One-sided narratives are everywhere. Framing, like successful creators curate and control their own framing. So like a lot of the things that I took as like gospel truth are a lot more nuanced than that, you know? Yeah, topics can be framed in a dishonest manner too, even if everything that's said is factually true. Yeah, that's why in terms of like, I don't really get into drama. But I think there was a drama, I think it was the Cinder drama. I don't know, we're not gonna recount all the details, but there was like one girl who released a Google Doc making her friend look terrible, and then the other person like didn't respond for a week, so they were the villain until they got their response in order, and then everyone didn't know what to think, and now the general consensus is that both of them are just like dishonest people because someone's lying about something, you know? Another example, fear of blacklisting or legal actions can smooth things over that are not accurate, leaving agencies or trouble with artists or trouble with big clients. Oh, is it Radia and Adora? Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, that sounds about right. See, I can't keep them straight. But, yeah. I think that something I've learned a lot is we need to stop thinking that the internet can be the judge, jury, and executioner. I think we need to just understand that people are going to say whatever makes them look the best. Because that's in their best interest. They're protecting their brand. So, not taking people's claims at face value on the internet is very, very important. Which is also why I will never be like a commentator of like specific scenarios unless I can extrapolate them to the larger larger rule of thumbs, you know? Because I used to like take people's individual narratives at face value and like decide big moves from that, and now yeah, I don't think that's wise. All right, guys, I'm gonna make myself late to acupuncture. Oops. But this was really great, and I can't wait to get to the rest of the comments so that we can form a good script. I also have had several people send me in videos, which I will be including in my I'll be including in the video as well, because the community support has been great. I feel like I am so happy now that I am a quality over quantity creator with such a quality audience, even though it's smaller than it used to be. Like, I prefer the small yet quality audience. I think I am more happy with my audience than I have ever been, so thank you all for sticking around, for engaging in nuanced conversation, because I think most people could never bring up topics like religion and AI art in live stream as a VTuber and get away with it. Hi, Meister. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, guys, I really gotta go to acupuncture, but thank you so much for watching. We'll raid out on Twitch, and I'll see you guys soon. Possibly tomorrow morning if I feel like working on this more. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching, and as always, take care, Bat Bunch.
To